Hello and good afternoon. Melanie here with Christian Craft Paper, and we are diving into our brand new October design drop. Even though it's not October yet, we're getting a jump on it. And I want to start with sharing some of the crafts we did last month as members, because those designs and the sign bundle are now available to everybody. And so I want to give you some of the great ideas that our members had with these different crafts. So you'll notice I have a little bit of a new setup today, which I should have started my setup when I was getting ready to go live a little bit earlier, because I did have a little bit of wonky tech stuff, but we got it all together. I'm also going to be doing today just a little bit different. Let me show you. Pug's like, sorry, as soon as I start talking, my dog's like, what's going on? This is the project that we did this month for members. This is our layered pumpkin sign bundle. It comes with the pumpkin base shape. It comes with the topper. It comes with 2 leaves. It also comes with an insert that we made into a beaded garland, I think last week or the week before. So this is one version that I did. And then this one was using the rub-on transfers, which are also available now to everybody. And then this one here used decoupage as well as a buffalo check napkin. And then this one here, again, buffalo check napkin, and this is a transfer. So these are the 3 examples that I did. I'm just going to put those back there. Hey, Angelia. I see Lisa. I see Pam. Pam said she missed the live. That's okay. Oh, you were at a craft convention. That sounds cool. Hey, Miss Cindy. Cindy says she loves the pumpkins. So let's take a look at some of the membership. It might be easier for me to show you that way. But Kelly Jean just finished hers. She shared this morning. So that's one that she did. I'm just making sure that everything isn't like backwards for you all. Miss Terry has 2 memberships. So she did 2 of them there. So cute. I love all of the different ways that everyone does them. This one was from Wanda. Wanda just signed up for another membership. She's loving the kits. I love those bright colors. Like, how fun is that? That one's like very Thanksgiving to me. I love it. So bright. Okay, hold on. We're moving. Here's another one. This is from Miss Christine. Now, I'm not sure if she used fabric for the background of the pumpkins or if she used paper. It might be fabric. I'm not sure. Here's another one from Miss Nancy. We had a lot of members sharing their project this month. I love how she put the leaves. What side am I poking on? Oh, at the bottom of the other ones. Hi, Miss Peggy. Hey, Karen. Bridget said she just joined the membership. Bridget, welcome. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm a little bit behind on the membership welcome videos. I have them on my list to do today. So once I get off here, you'll be getting a video from me if you haven't already. This one I love from Miss Barbara. She did one for breast cancer awareness. So she did hers all pink. Like, how cute is that? And October being breast cancer awareness month. I just love that tie-in. Here, hold on, I'm gonna scroll through a couple more. I gotta scroll through my own videos here. Nobody wants to see that. Okay, so here's one from Julie. Julie left the insert inside of it. So this insert actually pops. I know, I've got to figure out how to work this camera. This insert actually pops out, but she left it in, and then she put the transfers right on top of that. And that looks like that's one of our scripture sprinkle transfers. And then she used some pink and blue papers. Absolutely love that. Here's one more from Miss Gail. Gail did the buffalo check. And I like, so if you'll notice on some of the other ones, that transfers all one graphic. It's supposed to be up and down. She cut it and then used it to put the words, part of the words on one side and part of the words on the other. That was such a creative use of that. And then she added the sunflowers in between. Absolutely love that. Here's one from Miss Debbie. Look how cute her bow is. Adorable. Okay, I don't want to miss anybody. Let's see. Here's Miss Nancy. She did her wooden leaf down at the bottom. I don't know why I'm using this hand to point because it's going to the wrong side. I'll get used to this eventually. Anyway, and then here's our bonus craft night project that we did this month. We did these wood sliced pumpkins, and then that other pumpkin right there is the extra pumpkin that came in the sign. So again, there are a few more left. We went through the kits yesterday to see how many extra kits were left, and we reloaded the inventory. So if you would like a pumpkin sign or any of the pumpkin transfers, or the napkins are not loaded yet. I have that on my list to do today, but the pumpkin signs and the pumpkin transfers are loaded onto the site, so you can grab them yourself. But today we're looking at October. So that was our last fall project that we're going to be doing. We're moving on to Christmas. So this month and next month will be Christmas projects. And so I will show you the project first. Now, members have already seen this, but if you were in the member craft night. So this is our project for this month. It is a wooden utensil sign kit. So I've got two versions here. This stripy version, I used the napkins, and this version here, I used the rub-on transfers. So I will kind of get you show it up close a little bit. So this is a project that we're going to be doing. It has the back sign, the back topper. It has all three wooden utensils. It comes with the pick. It comes with 2 pieces of fabric for the bow, 2 picks, and the trees, the lettering. I'll show you the whole kit here in just a moment. And then it also comes with, on the back, the little hanger. So you can hang this on your wall. So this one I just antiqued the actual utensils. And then on this one, and this is all in the tutorial, I candy striped the utensils. So I just candy striped the front, not the back. But in the tutorial, the step-by-step tutorial, it'll show you how I did that using painter's tape. And this one used one of our decoupage napkins from this month's kit, which I will unbox here in a minute. And then you have the cute little gather together. It also comes with 2 little trees, but I will show you. Hey, Miss Wanda. Yeah, yes. Hey, Wanda, we shipped out your, thank you for confirming on your membership. We just shipped that first one out today, and then your second one's going to come through on the 2nd. So just wanted to, since you popped on here, I just wanted to let you know that's that you should get tracking. You might already have it for today. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and unbox this month's kit. So that's the finished projects, and then I'll show you what you get with it. So this one I'm unboxing is the deluxe kit. And the deluxe kit has everything. So you get the napkins, the transfers, and the printables. Well, I was like, did I not include? I thought I didn't have everything in here. I do. Okay, so first thing you're going to get is your sign. This is how it comes. So you're going to have the words. Sorry. The words are all protected in here. It's all shrink wrapped together. So you get your sign base, your sign topper, your words, and then your 2 trees. Then you're going to get your 2 pieces of fabric. These are always going to vary. That's what we're going to make our bow with. Then you're going to get your 3 bamboo wooden utensils. So this is how they come, just plain bamboo wood. So you'll get one of the spoon, one of the, I call this the spork. I don't know if that's the official name. And then one of the spatula type ones. And you don't have to use this all together. You can use it if you want to do separate projects. You could do separate projects, but I just kind of demonstrated how to use it together. Then you're going to get 2 of the little snowy picks. And you're going to obviously get your scripture sprinkle, your sucker, and then the members always get a new vinyl sticker. So this one is Love Came Down, and it has little baby Jesus on there. So cute. All right, and so then when you unbox your sign, this is how it is together. So you'll get 2, you have the 2 wooden trees, then you have the gather wording, and then you have the together. The T will be separate, and then we're going to glue them all down together. So when you unwrap it, that's what it looks like in there. Then you'll also get 2 sheets of junk journal paper to use. So these are the ones that came in mine. We showed how to use those on the pumpkin tutorial last month. And then you get the napkins and the transfers. So let's go through I have opened these. The transfers always come with the credit card transfer tool. We're going to, I always use the precision transfer tool just as a preference, but it does come with the tool if you don't have that. So we will go through the transfers next, and then I'll go through the napkins, and then I'll show you the printables, and we're going to play with the printables today. All right. I made all this room on my desk, and do you think it was enough room? No. It's never enough room on my desk. Hey, Mickey. Oh, thank you so much, Pam. All right, so this is this month's transfer set, and it actually is packaged, I believe, this way. So we've got sheet 1. So the theme is gather together. So you've got your large gather together graphic here. We have got the snow globe type vintage scene. We've got some lanterns and Christmas foliage here. Again, another snowy scene. Then we've got another lantern, and we have from Ecclesiastes 4:9, 2 are better than 1. And then we have the full verse here. 2 are better than 1 because they have a good reward for their labor. So that's sheet 1. Sheet 2 is where we bring in the candy cane and cocoa. So we have the gather together in red buffalo check. We've got some candy canes and presents here, candy cane bows. We've got some gingerbread men. We've got the hot cocoa. And then we also have some gingerbread men with the candy cane. And then the full verses for where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, there I am in the midst of them. And also, so we being many are one body in Christ. So you can take these wordings and layer them over the different graphics. And then page 3 is, again, for our cardinal lovers, we have the gather the people together with a couple cardinals in there. We've got some candles, cardinals and ornaments, more candles. And then we have, so we being many are one body in Christ, and also the gather together. And these 2 graphics here are made so that you can take them and overlay them here or overlay them here. You can take them and overlay them here so that for our card makers, you don't have to just use them individually. Just a reminder that you can overlay them. And that's why we have a bunch of different options so that you can mix, match, and create. Lisa's loving the transfers. So cute. Wanda's loving the transfers too. Yes, we tried to kind of hit each point. We've got our vintage. We've got our candy cane gingerbread. I know we had a lot of requests for gingerbread last year, so we did bring in the gingerbread men. And then, as always, you'll all love the cardinals. So that's the transfers that come with the deluxe kit. And then we will go into the napkins. And these are not in order of what you get, of how they arrive. I was going to put them in order, but it doesn't matter. All right, so we have our cute little gingerbread couple here with the 2 are better than 1 from Ecclesiastes 4:9. That verse, that statement just goes all the way around here. So this is kind of your candy cane and gingerbread napkin. We did the, we're going to be doing the hymns a little bit different over the next few months. This is one version. And then we also have another version we're going to do next month that is a little bit different, where we're doing more overlays over the hymn. So it's not just the hymn. We have not really done that except for, I think, Christmas in 2023. And so I'm kind of bringing that back. But this is just one that we have tried. So we have gathered together, and then we have the Romans 12:5 in it. We being many are one body in Christ. That's actually the verse that I'm going to craft with today. And so we'll dig into that in just a moment. Then we have the cardinals with the ornaments here, where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, there I am in the midst of them. That one might be my favorite. So pretty. Then we have the main just gather together theme with the vintage snow globe type scene. Got some presents down here. And you get 2 of each of these, by the way, if you're new. And then we have the behold how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. So this is one where you can take the main verse and use it. You can just take these topper pieces and use it, or you can use it all together as one graphic. So that is the napkin club. So the deluxe gets everything. They get the napkins, the transfers, the project, and they also get the printables. So I will go over the printables next. This is what I'm going to be crafting with today. We also have individual options where if you just want the transfers in the project, you can get that. If you just want the napkins in the project, you can get that. If you just want the napkins, you can get that. And if you just want the printables, But the deluxe is the best deal because you get the printables for free, plus you get everything. So, and then in the top will be your little card that tells you the additional supplies that you'll need, as well as the tutorial. So you can craft it right when you get it. You don't have to wait for us to do the live crafting. And then there'll be a sneak peek on the back. Not showing that too much for what we're doing next month. But let's go through the printables. So the printables, you get 5 sheets, and they're the same templates each month with the different theme. So the theme being gathered together, we have the full Romans verse. Was it 5:2? I can't remember. I'm going to be crafty with this one today. So we being many are one body in Christ, and every one members one of another. And then we have for where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, there I am in the midst of them. Then we have the 2 borders. So these are great for card making, also other projects. If you want to border around different things, you can print them and make them. This one is sized for the pop and swap frame. So you'll see it fits the pop and swap. That's what we'll be doing today. This one is sized for a 4-inch square coaster. Then we go to the second page, and here we have our candy canes and our verses. So we have Psalms 133:1. Behold how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. This is sized for a 4-inch round coaster. And this one again is sized for the pop and swap frame. And they, continuing daily with one accord in the temple and breaking bread from house to house, did eat their meat with gladness and singleness of heart, praising God and having favor with all the people. So that's the verse on that one. And again, you've got 2 more borders here to use for card making. The third sheet is our bookmark printables. So these are sized perfectly for our bookmarks. These ones are not sized for our wooden ones. I'll show you. If you get our blanks, these are sized for our blanks. Okay. This one will fit. This one will not fit our blanks, but you can use it as is or as a border or however. So just keep that in mind that generally these 3 and this one is sized, but this one will be a little bit longer. You'd have to right there. So that's your bookmark sheet. You can use these front and back. You can use each one to just make a different bookmark. I actually have I'm going to be digging into the verse that I'm working on today. So this is one that I made last month. We made on one of the tutorials where I used this is a printable, and then I used the pattern one for the back. So that tutorial's in there, but that's the bookmark sheet. Then we have the jam jar labels. So we've done these in the summer. I need to do one for winter because I haven't done one for like Christmas or Thanksgiving. But this is an Aldi's jam jar. You can get these. I think they're like $3. It's the premium jam. And then you can decoupage, or this is printed on sticker paper. You can also print it on vinyl paper. Or you can just put it on cardstock or paper and Mod Podge it on there. But that's what these are for, their jam jars. So you have the smaller ones for the smaller jars, and then these are for larger jars. So especially when we're doing Christmas gifting, these are going to be so handy. Yeah, sorry, Lisa, I don't know what just happened. Hey, Bobby. Are they both? Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, you know what? Let me remove it and add it back in. My recording as well. Okay, I don't know why it's being a pain in the patootie. All right, we got it back. Thank you for that. I saw it go black and then I saw it come back, but I didn't look to make sure that it actually came back. Which this camera that we lost is the one that's actually gives you my voice. So anywho, I don't know where it dropped off, but these are for the jam jars. I printed this one on vinyl paper, but you could also just print on sticky paper. You can print on sticky. sticker paper. You can print on cardstock and then Mod Podge it over there. So tons of different options with the labels. And then we have our gift tags. So we have multiple different backgrounds for the gift tags. Dixie. Oh my gosh. I swear, you guys, the dogs are usually not this bad. Like today, it's spring break, so everyone's coming and going and the doors opening and closing. So they're all running around. Okay, Bobby wants yes, these are on printables, and this is just on 8.5 by 11 copy paper. The one I'm going to be using today, I have printed on cardstock. I'll show you that, and then I'll also show you it printed on tissue so you can see what it looks like. Then these are just extra graphics. You've got your cardinals here, your lantern gathered together, and some extra ones. These are the ones I like to print on sticker paper and then cut out and use them as like stickers. These would be great for jar labels too. It's a good size. And then you have your repeatable pattern one. So this is made to, you can cut and then lay them together and they'll cover one large surface. You could actually use this for wrapping paper too, for like small gifts. That would be super easy. It's great as a background and then layering other stuff on top of it. But that is the printable. So you get the 5 sheets plus the 2 bonus sheets, which are these 2 bonus sheets. And then these are only available to members. We generally will release a bundle from this bundle that will have a pop and swap tile, 1 coaster, 1 bookmark, and a gift tag. And we'll release that as a bundle, but it might not be the ones that you like out of this set. So I just want to put that. So they will be, the full set is only available to members. Okay. I know that was a lot. Let me show you the different papers to print on, because we're going to be doing the pop and swap tile. I know I'm moving my Bible around here because we're going to jump into the Word a little bit today. Normally I only do the full crafting method with the members. I'm going to start doing it on the Tuesday lives, because the Word is the sword of the Spirit. We need to be getting into it, and that is the whole purpose of all of this. So I want to take you through the whole process today. It doesn't make it really any longer. It just makes it more focused. So this one I have printed on cardstock. That's what I'm going to be using today. This one I have printed on tissue paper. Now how I do that, this is me repurposing. Like I printed this one and I cut its head off on accident. So I didn't, instead of throwing this away, I just used it to do my tissue paper. So all you do is you cut just regular tissue paper. You can get tissue paper from the dollar store. You just need white tissue paper. You're going to fold it over, tape in the middle, and then fold over the edges, tape in the middle, tape the corners down. Again, fold this side, tape down, tape the corners down. Then in my printer, it needs to go down where the tissue paper is face down. You'll have to figure out on your printer what that is. Then you just go ahead and print it out. So now these designs are on tissue paper. So when I decoupage with them, it'll be just like a napkin. I printed this one because I was going to do this one on a napkin today, but I tried it on the cardstock and it worked really well. So I'm going to recommend you do cardstock for this one. But I just want to show you that that is possible. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be doing our pop and swap tile. So this is a frame that I've already made. And I'm also going to be doing a new bow. I have a magnet down here because I can't reach it. Oops, hold on. I got a new magnet. We're going to be doing a new bow today. But this bow has a magnet on it so that I can switch it out. I feel like this is kind of a fall one. So I'm going to make a Christmas one today. But we're going to be doing this pop and swap frame. And I don't know if the light's going to catch it. It has glitter on it. I don't know. It might be easier to see. Can you see the snow? I can't even tell if the light is like reflecting the snow or not. Hopefully you can see it. It's so pretty in person. So if the light is not catching it, I apologize. You're going to have to trust me on that one. But that's what we're going to be doing today. So with the craft method, this is the craft method that we have. Let me start turning my stuff on here. That we have for available to the members. The craft method is the method that we use to use worship, to use crafting as worship. So we go through the different steps that have to do with craft. So C is choose your verse, R is read it aloud, A is assemble your materials, F is focus on prayer, and T is think and meditate while you craft. So that's how we are crafting together 2 times a month, is we are using the crafting method. We go through it together, and then we open in prayer, but then we also close in prayer. And it's just awesome because it's like a group and we share stories and connect. And so I'm going to take you through the craft method today. So the verse that we are going to be using, I already have it marked today, is from Romans. Oh gosh, you could tell I was already in here this morning. There is stuff everywhere. And it's Romans chapter 12. And I know it's in here somewhere. I think it's 6. I read the whole chapter, not the whole chapter. We're going to read a section of these verses. All right, we'll just catch it when we get there. We're in Romans chapter 12. I had it, I think, highlighted in my King James Version. This is my NIV. I grabbed this one because I want to share this part down here. But this is talking about being a living sacrifice as we are walking out as being followers of Jesus. And so it kind of gives you a whole point of what to do and also what love in action looks like. I feel like it's very timely. I've come across this verse like multiple times in the last few weeks. So when I picked this one, I was like, oh, of course it's in Romans, because that's where God just keeps circling me around this chapter. So I'm just going to read really quickly. Therefore, I urge you, brothers and sisters, in view of God's mercy, to offer your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God. This is your true and proper worship. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good and pleasing and perfect will. This is something that we really talked about in the membership group last week. I kind of have added a little devotional portion, and we were sharing about what does the renewing of the mind look like? How do we practically do that? What are ways that we can take these thoughts hostage, and which thoughts do we need to be taking hostage? So we kind of dug into that a little bit deeper this past Saturday. Continuing on verse 3, for by the grace given me, I say to every one of you, do not think of yourself more highly than you ought, but rather think of yourself with sober judgment in accordance with the faith God has distributed to each of you. Another little nugget. I was talking with God the other day about pride and humility, and how a lot of the times we think humble means being almost pitiful, and it's not. Humility is actually understanding where your strengths are and where your weaknesses are, and also understanding that others have strength and weaknesses too. And so it's not about being pitiful. It's a knowing of where your weaknesses and strengths are. So I just want to share that. For just as each of us has one body with many members, and these members do not have all the same function, so in Christ, we, through many, form one body, and each member belongs to all of the others. That's the verse we're doing, Romans 12:5. We have different gifts according to the grace given to each of us. I want to back this up just a little bit, because I think sometimes we get stuck in there's only one way to be a Christian, or there's only one way to be a follower. And I think it's good to be reminded that everybody has a different set of gifts. And when you have people that have a different set of gifts all together trying to work forward into one goal, we can get frustrated with each other. But we have to be reminded that other people are going to fill in the gap where you have, and you're going to fill in the gap where they have. So it's more about giving them grace and letting them shine in what they're shining in than trying to hold them to a standard that we have for ourselves. It continues on about the different gifts. If your gift is prophesying, then prophesy in accordance with your faith. If it is serving, then serve. If it is teaching, then teach. If it is to encourage, then give encouragement. If it is giving, then give generously. If it is to lead, do it diligently. If it is to show mercy, do it cheerfully. Then it talks about what love in action is. Love must be sincere. Hate what is evil, cling to what is good. Be devoted to one another in love. Honor one another above yourselves. Never be lacking zeal, but keep your spiritual fervor serving the Lord. Be joyful in hope, patient in affliction, faithful in prayer. Share with the Lord's people who are in need and practice hospitality. Bless those who persecute you. Bless and do not curse. I feel like there's a whole sermon in there, but we'll keep moving. Rejoice with those who rejoice. Mourn with those who mourn. Live in harmony with one another. Do not be proud, but be willing to associate with people of low position. Do not be conceited. Do not repay any evil for evil. Be careful to do what is right in the eyes of everyone. If it is possible, as far as it depends on you, live at peace with everyone. Do not take revenge, my dear friends, but leave room for God's wrath, for it is written, "It is mine to avenge. I will repay," says the Lord. And I think we're just going to end there. I wanted to go down here. This is an NIV Life Application Bible. And so I want to just read this little section here, and then we'll jump into our craft. It says, look at the list of gifts and imagine the kinds of people who would have each gift. Prophets are often bold and articulate. Servers, those in ministry, are often faithful and loyal. Teachers are clear thinkers. Encouragers know how to motivate others. Givers are generous and trusting. Leaders are good organizers and managers. Those who show mercy are caring people who are happy to give their time to others. It would be difficult for one person to embody all these gifts. An assertive prophet would not usually make a good counselor. A generous gifter might fail as a leader. When you identify your own gifts, and this list is far from complete, it says, there's other gifting, ask how you can use them to build up God's family. At the same time, and this is what I was kind of touching on earlier, realize that your gifts can't do the work of the church all alone. I think that is the meat right there. Be thankful for people whose gifts are completely different from yours. Let your strengths balance their weaknesses and be grateful that their abilities make up for your deficiency. Together, we can build Christ's church. So I'm going to land on that. Such a word. Dig into that. Romans 12:5 is where we were. And with that, we are going to go ahead and we chose our verse. We read it aloud. The reason we read it aloud is because the renewing of the mind comes from hearing and speaking. Okay, so we want to read it aloud. We're not just going to read it to ourselves. We're going to put the word of the Lord out there in the realm, in the spiritual and the physical realm. We're going to assemble our supplies next. So I've got my printable. This is sheet 1. I've printed it on cardstock. It's a little bit thicker. I'm going to be using a pop and swap tile. Because we are using cardboard, we don't need to prep the tile today. We can just go at it. I'm also going to be using Mod Podge. We are also going to be using, which I haven't played for this a minute, we're going to be using a varnish. Now, those of you, if you're newer, let me get my bucket. Get my bucket down here. I will show you. This is listed in my favorite things. This is the matte varnish I use. It's a DuraClear matte varnish. It's super thin. It is another substrate just like Mod Podge, but thinner, and it's different. It's different components, okay? So we're going to use this to apply the glitter, which I have. This is going to be our snow. Megan donated this. This was her. She said she was getting rid of it, and I said, I will take it. So I just have this in just a jam jar, and then I labeled it on the top. So this is actually, oh, that's the gloss. So I'm not even using matte. I'm using gloss, I think because it was snow. And I also have a high gloss one too. Maybe I'll use the high gloss this time so I can get more shiny. All right, we'll put that down. Yeah, I have not used the varnish in a minute, but it's fun. What else do I have? I'm going to have my sanding block. I lost my sanding block. What the heck? Well, I had it last night. Hold on. Okay, see, you get so organized that you just, what did I do with it? All right, if we can't find it, we will, completely lost right now. It's always right here. I always put it away and it is missing. Okay, well, It's probably just sitting around here. Okay, we're not going to let us stop that. We will have to use a sanding file, and hopefully it will just, Lord, bring it to me. Okay, so we're going to need a sanding block. And then what else? We've got our glitter, we've got our glue. That's pretty much, I think that's it. I've got my iron on for the decoupage method. You will need a sealer at some point. We are not going to, oh, those are so pretty. Is that what just came in? I lost my sanding block. Like, I don't, like literally did I throw, oh, if you can't find something, check your trash. Evidently I threw it away. I don't even understand. All right, we're going to replace that. I don't even know what's happening right now. All right, we got to put more, another file on that, which I haven't done that in a minute anyway. So this is going to be a super easy project. I think that was just a sign I needed a new sanding block. I can't believe I threw that away. All right, we're going to start with cutting out our tile or our printable here. So again, this is printed on just regular cardstock that you would use for cards. And we're going to rough cut it. So we'll just cut, I'm going to give it a little bit of space so that I can center the design on the tile. And then we'll just save this for our other. All right, so I'm going to use the light a little bit just to kind of hold it up and see. Oh, wait, actually, we can go ahead and do the Mod Podge first. We're going to go ahead and coat it with Mod Podge, and we're going to dry this, and then we're doing the iron-on method. And this is going to allow us to be able to move the design around and get it straight. It's just a lot easier for me. And I know the newbies love it too, but you're just taking a thin coat of the Mod Podge. Need to add a little bit more. And then we will hit it with the heat gun. And what's going to happen is when we put the iron on it, it's just going to melt right into that. And we are going to need two different types of brushes today because I'm going to seal with Mod Podge and then we're going to come in with the varnish. So when I put the first one on with this type of brush, and then when we're going to go through, I'm actually going to use a sponge brush to seal it. So let's hit that with the heat gun. We're just going to dry it. My husband was just showing me the November napkins just came in. So pretty. So pretty. That's what he like had to come in and show me. All right, so we've got it dry. I'm just going to use the light here to get my design. Actually, we can use the top of it is the paper. So we know that part is nice and flat and straight. So we can use that to line it up here. And then I just need to make sure the right and the left are centered as best they can be. I feel like we just need to go a little bit this way. Okay. And then I'll make sure the top's down. All right. We are good. So from here, make sure nothing's on it. We're going to take our parchment paper, put it in between our iron and our cardboard so that nothing sticks. We don't want any of that Mod Podge to like stick to our iron. And we're going to go through and just iron it on. And I do kind of go a little bit around the edges just because I don't want the edges lifting. And it is going to be a little bit warm. You can save your parchment paper. Just put it right back in there and use it a bunch of times. So now you can see we've got just the edges that we need to go ahead and take off. And this is what I need the sander for. So just do a quick check. Make sure that your edges, you don't have any lifting. Everything's good. I'm going to need the Mod Podge here again. Oops. still getting used to this arrangement on my desk here, as I have this new overhead light that is supposed to, well, I was hoping it would help with the color. All right, so I'm just going to bend these down a little bit just with my hands. And this is thicker, so we're going to go ahead and use the sander. We're going to sand one way, and we're just going to sand off these edges. And if you use it at an angle, it's going to sand more surface area than if you just use it like this. So I kind of use it at an angle. And you can see it's just going to break those pieces off. That's how we're going to get a nice edge. Now, if we were doing tissue or regular printer paper, it's not going to take as much sanding. You only use as much pressure as you need to just get the paper off. Probably good that I just changed my sander. There we go. I think the sanding is the most difficult part of this whole project. This one is really easy. Okay, so we've got that off. We're going to take I'm just going to blow some of that off so it doesn't get everywhere on us. All right, so now we have our little sign here on here. And what we're going to want to do before we put the varnish is we are going to want to seal this. So I'm going to take just some Mod Podge on one of my little cards here. I like to save these. They're great for mixing paint. Again, I put Mod Podge on here since I have it in the mustard container. And I'm going to use the sponge brush. So what we're going to want to do is we're just going to want to cover a thin layer of the Mod Podge. And I never use that. When I was doing this last night, I did not put enough on my card either, but I'm so used to like over using the Mod Podge. So we just need a thin layer over the whole thing. So I kind of go from the middle and just drag it out. I don't want any blobs, so that's why the sponge brush is nice to come through and make sure you don't have any blobs. And this is going to seal so that we can put the varnish right over the top. Again, thin. We don't need a super thick coat here. We just want a nice thin one. The other reason I used the cardstock for this particular one is because it's going to be more forgiving than if you use a napkin. The napkin's going to want to soak up the Mod Podge and it might bubble on you a little bit, which in that case you can iron it back out. But with this one, it just gives a nice smooth layer without bubbling. So that's why I went with the cardstock. So we'll hit it again with the heat gun. All right, and then this is nice and dry. Now, depending on what type of Mod Podge you have, it might have a little bit of sheen, it might not. I believe the one I have is matte, so there's not a ton of sheen. If you use like a high gloss Mod Podge or a gloss Mod Podge, it will have more of a sheen. So now we are ready to put our glitter on. So this is where I'm going to take the high gloss varnish. Again, I just put this is just a honey jar. And I just like to put it in these jars so that I can seal it and then just dip in here and use it, because with the container that it comes in, you can't like get your paintbrush in there. Okay, so we're going to work on it one section at a time. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the varnish everywhere that I want there to be glitter. And I'm just going to work a little bit at a time. And because we're using varnish and not Mod Podge, it's not going to raise up that Mod Podge. So we're just going to go in here, and this is a different consistency than Mod Podge, but I just kind of almost like bubble it on. It's not a thin coat. It's more of like almost like a fingernail polish where you're just going to kind of bubble it on all of the parts. So I just start at the top. and you just kind of put it on and then just drag it a little bit. When it starts getting thin, just grab a little bit more. I feel like when I was working on this last night, it's almost like a paint by numbers, which I have one coming. I found this lighthouse picture that I want to paint by numbers. It looks amazing on the picture, but then I don't know if it's going to look like that great when I get it. Well, when I do it, I should say. So again, you're just coming in here to each of these areas. So I'm going to do the top of this light first and the top of the house, and then we will add some glitter, and then we will keep working down. All right, so I've got that. It does help if you have like a larger something you can get in here, because we're just going to take the glitter. Actually, I forgot. Before we use glitter, you probably want to put it on something, because the glitter will stick to your mat. If we put it on a piece of paper like this, then we can like reuse some of the glitter. So I'm just going to go through here and I am going to just drop it on all those parts that I just applied all of the varnish. And you're just taking pinches of the glitter and dropping it on there. Like, I'm not touching the varnish, I'm just dropping the glitter over it. And we're going to put the extra back in our jar, so you can be pretty generous with this if you want. Okay, so now what I do is I just get a little brush, and if there's any glitter over any spots that I didn't put the varnish yet, but that I want to put glitter, I'm just going to kind of get that out of the way so it doesn't. We got funky again. All right, hold on, because I'm going to remove myself again. Okay, I feel like this is a sign. I was actually looking this morning to get a different streaming service because I'm just not happy with the one that I have. And I think all of these issues today have just confirmed that that will be happening. Because ain't nobody got time for that. All right, so I'm going into the next little layer here of this little thing. And again, you can put it wherever you want. You don't have to put the same areas that I put it. But the key is just kind of work in sections so that you're not putting your hand in the area that you've already done. I feel like that needs just a little bit more. So I'm kind of working my way from the top down. This is probably the closest to snow that I get to play with here in Arizona, for the most part, is the snow glitter. All right, so again, I'm going to come in here and just going to make sure any areas that I haven't done yet, we're going to just kind of scooch that glitter out of the way. Otherwise, it does get on your brush that you're using for the varnish, and it can be kind of a problem. So from now down, I'm just going to start working kind of from right to left. So I'll go all the way down on this one. I added some in on the little berries on the tree. And then we'll get the bottom of the lamp post here. You could use these on the cocoa ones too, like for your marshmallows. All right, I got that one. So now I'm going to cover just this section here. Have any of you used this technique with the varnish before? I was going to try it with Mod Podge when I was kind of researching how to do this. And then I saw someone use the varnish and I was like, oh wait, that seems way better. And I did a practice run last night and I absolutely loved it. So I was like, we're definitely doing this again. Okay, I'm gonna come over here and do my little snowman next. Just gonna get his little hat here because he would probably have snow on top of his hat and on the brim of his hat. And then I'm just gonna get some dots in this bush. You could do snowflakes too. All right, so we'll do him and then we'll worry about the middle part here. Again, you can be generous with this. It's just gonna come right back off. Okay, so now we're gonna go through here and do the snow here in the middle and around the bottom of him. I didn't have this extra brush handy yesterday when I was doing this. This is better. I was kind of just sticking my brush in the varnish and then I would get glitter on it and then I would clean it and then I would come back. This is much better. All right, so we're gonna be pretty generous down here because this is kind of our piles of snow. Oh, okay, I got a whole bunch of varnish on that one. So I'm pretty much just covering all of the snow spots down here, but I'm leaving the steps visible. And then for the very bottom, you can do all of it, or you can just do the darker parts, kind of whatever you're feeling. I'm kind of going over the more shadow snow parts here. And I'll do both sides. And then we'll just cover that and then we can dust it off. You really can't mess this up because it's just going to be where the glitter is. All right, I feel like that's pretty good. We'll take our last little bit here. And this is a pretty big spot, so we're going to be pretty generous in here. You could probably also dump it or shake it if you have a shaker. Let's have that spot right there. All right. We are covered good. Okay, let's close our varnish up. And I'm going to turn my heat gun on because we will work on our bow next. Oh, I forgot I have ribbons I was going to use those. I think I'm going to try a ribbon bow today. Oops, I put the lid on that. We need to put it back in there. Okay, so from here, we're just going to take it and we're just going to bounce it down each way. And we're just trying to get the extra glitter off. Be careful not to touch anywhere where the glitter is. You can also come in here with your paintbrush. Again, be careful not to hit any of the parts that are supposed to have snow, but you can come in here. And if you want, you can wait till it's completely dry, which is probably the best way to do it. But I know all these areas out here do not have any glitter, so I can come get the majority of this extra off. But you don't want to knock off any of yours that's still drying. So I will do some of this that I know here on the outside. And I'm not going to do any of this down here because I do have some of it in the tree, but I'll let that kind of set. We're just trying to get some of the extra off there. All right, then we can take our glitter, put it back in our container. And now we're done with that. Okie dokie, it's bow time. All right, got that. So I grabbed these. I have these patterns of ribbon. I have not done a messy bow with ribbon yet. So I think that's what we're going to try today. The first thing that I'm going to want to do is figure out like how big my strips need to be, because I don't want it like ginormous, but I think I'm just going to eyeball it about that big. So let's see how big that is. I think we're probably going to be about, yeah, 5 inches. All right, so we're going to do 5 inches. So I'm going to cut 2 of these. All right, so we'll do, I think 2. And then we can do a couple of these. And this one's brand new. I have not used yet. I was kind of looking for a reason to use this one actually, because I'm like, how cute is this green with the snowflakes? And you do kind of want to use, well, it is a removable bow, so you can switch it out however many times that you like. I think I'm going to add a couple more of these. But I tried to pick like colors that would match multiple projects. So I was bringing in the green and the, let's go, add another one of these. You need even numbers. So we're going to do, I'm going to do 4 of each. Alrighty. Put those aside. We're going to grab our bow maker. And we're going to need our string that we're going to be tying it with. So let's grab that next. And we're just going to make X's. Now, if you don't have a bow maker, you can still just lay your string down and make your X's. But this just is kind of like another set of hands. So I'm just going to keep rotating right and left here. And I think I'm going to do the black next. No, I didn't cut these ones at an angle. You can cut them at an angle now or later. Just thinking while I'm thinking about it here. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do the green next because the green is a little, well, I thought it was thicker, but it might actually not be. All right, this is my first ribbon messy bow, so I will tell you, I'm a little bit nervous. Which way did I do the last one? I think we go this way. But the whole point of the messy bow is just messy. All right, so here is what I have. Now, I usually like to put some jute or some lace or something in there to give it texture. I think for this one, I am going to do this thicker jute. And what I'm going to do is leave one tail loose, but I'm going to just loop it through here. So I generally just want to make sure that the loops are kind of the same size on each, but I'll have them a little bit shorter than the ribbons. And we can adjust this if we need to. So they don't need to be perfect. Do try to make it even, meaning we have the same amount of loops on each side. Do some a little smaller. All right, and then we're going to end on that side because we started on the other side. All right, they give you this little thing. You can shove it down, kind of helps it because these are kind of automatically pinched together. Then we're going to take our string from the bottom and we'll tie it all. So I give it one good yank and then that'll pop it out. But when you pop it out, it will be flat like this. So what we want to do is kind of start smushing it so that it's not a pancake stack. So we give it one yank, flip it over, and then this is where we are going to double tie the back. Now, what I can see already is it appears like my middle's a little bit off. So what we can do is from this side, we can go ahead and pull the different ones that are making it off center. I'm gonna find that one. What is this one? This one? Nope, I'm trying to find this one right here. There we go. Like anchor it down. You can mess with it a little bit. There we go. Now I feel like it's more centered. You can also do it after you tie the knot. All right, so we just double knotted that and we can clip those. So here we have our little messy bow, and I almost feel, and you can rearrange these if you want more different ways. I kind of like it being simple like that, and I wanted to, all right, we're going to make it, I'm going to just use this sign because it's dry. On this particular one, once it is completely dry, you're going to let it sit. Once it's completely dry, go ahead and take a light paintbrush and like a bigger one and brush off all of the extra glitter. After you do that, you are going to want to seal it, and that's going to protect your glitter. So I just sealed it with a clear acrylic matte spray. I just gave it, I only gave it one good coat and I let it sit out there a couple hours last night. And that's this one here. So this mess anything up. So what I want to do is I need to make room for my magnet and my bow. So I've got to kind of figure out how these should go. All right, so I'm going to glue it to the, glue the pick to the bow first. And then we're going to do our magnet. So I am going to glue it first, and then I will cut off the extra stem because right now there's going to be some of the stem that's there. All right, so put a pretty good dab of glue there. All right, so we're going to let that set for just a moment. I'm going to get out my wire cutter so that I can cut off the extra stem. And then when we glue it to the magnet, we're going to need two different types of glue. So I'm going to use the E7000 because when I have hot glued just the magnet, my bow has popped off the magnet, and we don't want that. All right, so I'm just cutting the tail off of this pick right here. And the next thing that we're going to want to figure out is which way does our magnet need to go, because if we glue the wrong side, our bow's going to pop off. So we want the side without the hole. All right, and we are going to get our E6000 and a popsicle stick. Oh, good heavens. I do not know why it keeps doing that, but that is not fun. All right, I'm going to use just a dab of the E6000. Again, that's going to help it so that your bow, as you're moving it on and off, is not sticking to, will actually stick and not come off, because I have had them come off before. All right, I'm going to place it on there because I want to make sure I get the bow in the right spot. So I've got the E6000 and I've got the hot glue as well. And so I'm just going to put this on here and hold it down really good. Now I'm actually going to leave it on here to cure. But with the bow, you'll be able to like adjust it this way and that way through the magnet. But basically we're just making sure that we have the magnet stuck to it so that it's not going to move anywhere. So here is our final messy bow tile project. Again, once the bow dries, I'm going to fluff it up a little bit and position it. I'm just going to make sure that it dries first though. So on the back, just let me see if I can get this off so that you can see. On the back of the magnet, you'll see that the pick is actually to one side and the magnet's to the other side. And that's what's going to give you room for the actual pick. And then again, you can rotate it whichever way once it's on there. But again, we just made this with the cardboard and the printables from this month's Printable Club. And this is one way that you can take one pop and swap sign and you can mix and match. So if we took this bow off, we could also put this bow on and we could use this one too, which these colors work for this as well. I was just looking for, I wanted a Christmas bow. So I haven't made one yet. So that's how easy it is to take one particular frame, and then we can still do the back of this frame with another design. So when we get tired of looking at this one, we can just flip it over and use the other one. And that is being flipped over with the snow on it. So it's still gonna, it's thin enough that it will still sit in here and work just fine. So you'll get two designs, you can do two different signs with just one tile. But that is so simple. I know it took a little minute with the camera issues, but I will go back through the designs really quick. Again, these particular designs, this is the Gather Together collection that is available to members. It's shipping out to members. Well, new members, you're getting it now, but the existing memberships will run through tonight. So let me go back through the rest of the printables so that you can see those. I'll go through the full project again. Again, this is the full project in this month's kit. It is our utensil sign. So two different versions. This one is the rub-on transfers. This one I did with napkins. In the tutorial, you'll see both versions. So if you want to antique the utensils, you can do it. There's also tons of other options where you could actually decoupage this portion of the sign as well, which I'll probably do that for the members craft night. So many different ways. I'll show you another spoon that I did just to give you an idea of what you can do. This is one that I was just messing around with that I did. I got these, I found them at an antique store. So I just painted the whole thing, the sage, and then I came in here with the white, and this is just my gold pen. And then these are transfers from the September transfers that are available to everybody. And then I just did a little messy bow. So that's just an idea of what you could do with the utensils. You could do that on your sign as well. So we have the transfers that or the printables that we went through today. So this is the one that we used from Romans 12:5. You've got your pop and swap sign here, square tile, 2 borders. you've got your pop and swap tile here, circle coaster. This is a square coaster. I think I said square sign. This is a 4-inch square coaster, 4-inch circle coaster. And then you've got your 2 borders. You've got your bookmark sheets. So you've got fronts and backs or different ones. Again, you can print these as many times as you'd like. You've got your jar labels and you've got your gift tags. The gift tags I also generally print on cardstock. You've got your extra designs. These I like to do on like a vinyl sticker paper. And then you've got your repeatable pattern or your background sheet. So that's the Printables Club for the napkins. You've got Behold how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. You'll get 2 of those. 2 of the Gather Together napkins that just have the main vintage scene on them. 2 of the where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name. There I am in the midst of them with the cardinals and the ornaments. And you've got your hymnal, We Gather Together, which also has Romans 12:5 on it. We being many are one body in Christ. And then you've got your gingerbread men with the Ecclesiastes 4:9. 2 are better than 1. And that goes all the way around. Then you've got your transfer clubs are getting the Gather Together large design and the vintage sheet with the Ecclesiastics, the smaller portion of the verse, as well as the full verses. The second sheet has the cardinals and candles with the Gather the people together. We being many are one body in Christ, and then Gather Together with the reindeer. Again, these are made to like layer over the different ones. So you could use these together. And then we have our candy cane and cocoa sheet that has the Gather Together and also the 2 full verses again down here in different fonts. Great for card makers or other projects. And then your kit is going to come with your 3 utensils. It's going to come with your fabric for your messy bow. It's going to come with your 2 snow picks. And you'll have the full sign will come like this. So it has your wording in here. It has your 2 trees, which I did the tree on this one. I added it and painted it down here. So that's where that is. And then you'll also get your paper and your sticker. So that is the full kit. Again, members, there are extra kits. We did send out an email if you would want an extra sign with your membership. You can respond to that email. We would have to get it by today to add that extra kit to your membership. And then that way you don't pay extra shipping. We have quite a few people that are wanting multiple kits. I have some that are getting 3, which is fine. We have them. We'll cut them for you. But just one last reminder for members to go ahead and grab those. But that is it for today's tutorial. I will be back next Tuesday. We're going to be doing a printable craft with a special gift tag bundle that we were invited to take a part of. So it is, if you love printables, it's basically like a whole printable bundle of all Christmas projects of all different kinds of things. I was taking a peek through it. So we have submitted a printable, and then there's a bunch of other Christian creators that have submitted different printables. There's ornaments, there's Joshua Tree exercises, there's all kinds of different things in there. So it's all one big bundle, and I will be doing a sneak peek of that on Tuesday. So I'll be showing you our version and what you can do with it, and giving you all the details of that fun bundle. So perfect for gifting. And yeah, so join me next Tuesday, same time, same place, probably on a different streaming platform because today was wonky. But thanks for hanging in here this long. Lisa says she can't wait to get the kit ready to do our Christmas crafting. Absolutely love it. Yeah, this is a fun one. I will tell you, it was one of it. When you see the tutorial, it will not be this long, but it was one of the longest tutorials for me just because of the candy cane striping. But I also had to figure out how to do it a couple times. So I've got it down now where it's pretty simple with the painter's tape. But basically it could be as complicated or detailed or not as you would like. So you can do whatever you all are most comfortable with, as always. But that's it for today. And until next time, happy crafting.